Howdys and salutations, y'all. Welcome back to another Monday stream. Does feel like it's been a little erratic lately with the holidays and all that some such going on. Oops, wow, I forgot how loud some of these songs were. That one startled even me. I don't know if they're the same loudness for y'all. They're fairly loud on my end. Um, we'll have to adjust that one of these days. Anyway, yes, welcome back to Swordtember. But I'm thinking at this point, as should be the shock of no one, certainly not really a surprise to me, but we made it longer than I thought. We are going to have to slow it down just a tad. Keeping it up with daily was an ambitious goal. Um, if I was able to just do quick sketches, spend 30 minutes on something and then throw it out there and be like, hey, I made a sword. Or if I had more skill so that it only took me 30 or 45 minutes to make some of the swords that we've been designing, then it would have probably been doable. But it's more fun in my mind and with my current skill level to really try to go all in, but that means spending like all my waking time planning designs and trying to come up with different concepts. I've done like there's a ton of concepts that we never even got to, let alone the ones we actually test out on stream. Um, and each one, the prompts get a little more and a little more complicated to try to work in, or a little more and a little more ambitious with some of my ideas. And so it reached a point where I had a decision to make. Either we could keep these up on the daily, but do much simpler sketches, just a quick little thing, probably not that creative, just, go with first or second thought that comes to the mind and run with it. Or I could slow down and take my time and maybe do one sort a week, or maybe two, find a few prompts that really interest me that I can do something fun with, and really try to make them good and learn more in the process. And I don't think either of those is the wrong choice. I have a ton of respect for the folks who go with either one. Some people have different skills or just speed that I haven't yet got the practice to be able to pull off yet. Some people can just come up with these concepts in a heartbeat. I find creativity is not something that necessarily comes easily to me. I gotta work at it. Doesn't mean I don't enjoy it, doesn't mean I don't think it's worth doing, but it's not easy. And frankly, I was getting so tired and a little stressed out that I think it was starting to affect my job. And as soon as, as much as streaming is fun, I'm not making money on this. Um, I do need to make a living in order to, do things like eat. So, and, I take pride in actually doing my work well. I don't want to do it haphazardly just because I'm burning out on something else. So I made the decision we're going to go a little slower. And as much as we have learned a ton, I mean, everything from the rulers, different sorts of shading, using different color palettes and new resources for that. I mean, I have learned a ton in just the past week and a half. But there's some things that I had to sidestep. I'd be like, nope, that'd be good to learn from this, but we don't have the time. Now we're gonna do it. So today's gonna be just a little bit different. We're gonna proper get in here, and we're gonna learn, I need to update the stream title, how to make a brush in Clip Studio Paint. I say this having not made one. Like I said, y'all are learning here with me. So let me get our stream info up here. Ooh, new tab system. Thank you, update. Okay. Let me just update-ish. Because it's not really every day anymore. Learning to make brushes. There we go. Get that updated just a tad. You can go back to stream stats and all that jazz, see if there's actually people watching or if they're bots, now that I'm learning a little bit more about how to tell the difference. Also, I've noticed a lot of the bots seem to have stopped dropping by. I have no idea if that's a good sign or a bad sign, but, I don't super miss them. Anyway, we will continue on, and we're going to be following a wonderful tutorial, or at least, it's probably wonderful in the original language. Crikey, where the heck is it? This one. This one. This one by Maki Blue Art. Don't know anything about their art. No idea. This isn't an endorsement. But it looks like a good tutorial. Looks like a good place to start. And for the next blade, which I'm going to be picking up on the floral prompt, I know today's is weave or woven, and there's a lot of interesting opportunity there, but none of it is remotely time feasible. And I had an idea for floral I wanted to run with. So we're going to go with floral, and step one is I want to make a leaf brush, or a petal brush. Just a few things to mess around with, So let's throw this link into chat. I can find where the heck I put chat. There's chat. Let's see, here's our tutorial for today. Here's our tutorial for today. Boom. We're going to be following along on this. Now, I'm not going to scan in photos like the reference does. I'm just going to freehand some leaves. And maybe some other shapes, you know? Honestly, maybe we just start with stars. That I'm sure there's a built-in star brush, but it might be fun to have a sort of star sparkle thing that gives us a few things to work with. Yeah, you know what? That wasn't the plan, but we're gonna do it, and then maybe we can make another leaf brush or work with other things. You know, I don't think this. I don't think it's gonna take 2 hours to make a brush. Truth be told, best not. Um, maybe it will. Maybe it will the first time. We'll find out. You know, like I said, we're learning together. So let's do this. Step 1, grayscale image. Once our sheets are chosen, we got to, oh yes, photographs, importing them with transparent background. Yes, yes, yes. Let's see, once opened in the color expression tab. By the way, I think this article might have been automatically translated from another language. Just a hunch. I'm not certain of that. So I do apologize if occasionally I misunderstand things. Also, it's a slightly older version. For anyone who's ever followed tutorials for an older version, you know that sometimes they go great and sometimes they do not. So we're gonna just hope for the best. Heaven knows back when I was learning Maya and was getting like 5-year-old tutorials that like oh boy, that was a time. And now that was 5 years ago again, so I'm sure my knowledge of Maya is quite rusty. Blender though, that's the other thing by the way. I was spending so much time keeping up with swords on the weekend I didn't even get to practice Blender. And I super want October and okay, definitely November, probably October to be Blender heavy. October we may do like a witch drawing contest. I need to expand the quote unquote coven that Salt belongs to. That is not the right word for it, but it's fun. Okay. So I want to build on that. I definitely want to build on Blender though. A little more practice, and I think we'll have something that we can actually do on stream, which will be a great blast. And I miss 3D modeling. I'll be honest, I like to think of myself as a jack of all trades, very much a master of none, but getting better bit by bit at each of them. But that's especially true with art, where my least favorite media form is traditional, like drawing, digital and pencil, for the record. Everything else I find infinitely more enjoyable, but they all benefit from knowing the basics. They're good foundational skills, and so that's part of why I do them. Also, I want to make stickers and stuff. I just think it's neat, um, and that's just not something you can as easily do. I guess these days you probably could, but anyway. But 3D modeling, sewing, heavens, even calligraphy, claycraft. Although I'm terrible at that. Shockingly bad. Paper coiling, anything. There's so much fun, and I definitely want to get like a proper webcam set up one of these days, so we can do more of those hands-on crafts, because those are they're just neat, you know. And at the end, you've got something tangible. Granted, you also have something that fills up your dang house, which is not great. Not a perk that. But you know, it is definitely a perk. I don't know. There is something just so satisfying about being able to create something and then just like hold it and be like, I made this. Like even if it's not that creative of a thing, to be able to look at something you completed, truthfully that got me through college. Like I was so buried in esoteric and research and studying and everything, which don't get me wrong, was a passion. I loved it, but like I also was gonna burn out if I focused on that. So taking time to do something tangible, physical, real, and something that could be completed. You know, in school you finish your assignments and you turn them in, and then there's the grading and the hovering, and it never ever seems to end. Everything's building to the next thing. You get this assignment wrong, it's building the next one. You get this one right, good, you set up for the next one. Sometimes it's nice to just make something and have it exist in and of itself. Let it be its own thing. It deserves to exist in its own right, you know? There's just something so real about making something real. Now, don't get me wrong, digital art's great. I wouldn't do all the other stuff. 90% of my job, none of it's physical and tangible. Maybe if I did tangible stuff more often, I wouldn't care about it as much, but it's special. Because it's something I get to do rarely. But it's something that you can finish, and it's just fun. And relaxing to be able to say, I'm done with this thing. Even if it's not perfect, just like, done. I was hoping Swordtember would get me more of that, but I haven't quite gone there yet. So I think on the note of Swordtember and getting us a little bit more back on track, because my word, we've gone on a tangent. And my word, my bit of an accent's coming out, I reckon. Now, I'll admit I don't talk like this all the time, but it's also not like not my accent. It's just, I'm here. It's part of it. It's all part of it. That said, once I slip into an accent, as my D&D characters can readily tell you, I'm stinking terrible at getting out of it. So we may be stuck with this for a while. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I swear I'm not making fun of people from the South. Like, I'm here with y'all. Like, it just, why is it happening now? Anyway, let's lean into this a little bit, make some leaves, or stars, or something. You know what? Simple shape. The important part of brush number 1 is not having a workable brush, it's learning the process. So that's what I reckon I'm going to do. I also reckon it needs to be grayscale. So none of my palettes are going to work for that, unless a grayish ain't grayscale. Y'all got a grayscale in here? That's even less gray. Yeah, I didn't think that one would work. Oh, what a mess of a color set. Maybe I just don't appreciate it for what it is, but why has it got a transparent right in the middle? Did I accidentally add a bunch of color to this without paying attention, and that's why it's like this? These are some of my signature colors. Okay, maybe I did do that. Well, let's just pick a middle and gray, and unfortunately, maybe let's set the background nothing, actually. Okay, we'll set it to paper so we can see the gray without running into our little pixel friends back there. But let's just give ourselves a star. Oh, I guess we can also just draw stuff. Okay, now that's a thought. Let's draw stuff in color as an excuse to test the grayscale. You know, this is a learning day. We may not get a great output today, but that ain't the point of today. Today's point is to make a thing. I still want to use a vector layer. I'm sorry, I like the vector lines. So, y'all thinking, let's go for some of them cutesy, nah, I mean like a big line, cutesy hand-drawn stars, methinks. These things never turn out looking good when I do them. Yes, I mean that's thinking that's a you tried. You tried. Ups and at 'em and over and down and back. That's not even a 5-point star. I'm not sure it's a 6-point star either. This looks more like a stem on a maple leaf. Thought we weren't doing the leaf brush. Okay, maybe mechanical pencil ain't the right tool for this. Let's swap ourselves around. Maybe normal pencil, but like with a bit more of a oh, that's even grainier when you make it big. Oh dear, that I reckon that ain't gonna cut it either. Although I guess y'all know I don't gotta close the lines. Not this time. Let's clear some of this out. Oh dear me, that ain't a vector eraser, and now I've gone and put lines in all the vectors, so they're gonna be even harder to erase. Agnab. Get rid of all my vector lines, please. Thank you. Okay, back to a 5 for you. I guess we can get a fuzzy line, but maybe let's do like a charcoal, pastel, crayon. Nah, not crayon. This one looks too... Well, it's the right amount of fuzzy, or evenly distributed fuzzy, mind. Apologies for that. Other reason we're doing a learning day is because, my word, I am tired from the past couple weeks. Man, that stuff sticks with you. Life don't stop when you're busy. Yeah, we still got the... Whoops. We still got the stone texture on this one. I do like that texture. I mean, it's a bad grainy texture when it's too close. But, like, from a distance, it really ain't bad. There we go. Soft bleed. That may be closer to what we... Ooh, we got ourselves some of that watercolor paper texture in the background of that one. Or just a flat round brush. Same deal, same deal. What about gouache? Oh. Ooh. See, now to me, that looks like what happens when you take a pastel and rub just way stinking too hard with it. Granted, as a kid, I did like doing that. We got ourselves some thick oil paint. I don't think that's what we want. Painting the plot? Nope, nope. Round mixing brush? Nah, that ain't it either. Pointillism's fun, but I knew from the start that wasn't going to be the one. No sirree, Bob. Okay, we got our inks. I don't think these are going to be it. Full stop from the start. Looks like a dyeing pen. Looks like a more dyeing pen. I guess dry ink, I suppose that makes sense, don't it? And wet blotting ink is a really fun one, but it actually, maybe? Yeah. Yeah. Maybe gouache in the end. We'll give ourselves some fun. You know, we'll have some fun with this, you know? Maybe set it to a 10, zoom in a little bit. Stars ain't gotta be big. And, you know, I suppose I had actually use the proper technique of getting something a little closer. Point, I don't know, assuming one. Now there's a thought. We can proper construct this abstract looking star. Make it maybe a little less spontaneous than it seems. Make ourselves a circle. Cut ourselves some lines through it. Now, I still want proper brush strokes. I don't want to actually be like, man, how'd that get there? Apologies again. Now, I don't want to cheat it too much, but let's get ourselves some roughly equidistant points. Looks like we're going to be the slight angle here. So 1 to 4, or 4 to 1, because I've chosen a stupid order to do this. Well, not stupid. There ain't anything wrong with it. It's just silly. Because I don't remember how to draw stars when it's like this. Basically, connect all the points with not quite all the other points. Or is it with all the other points? Nah, because 5 ain't connected to 1 or 4. Connect each point with the 2 points opposite of it. Meh. 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 Man, that ain't a good showing on my part. Can't draw a star worth squat. But you know, we'll work with it. And I can pop out the middle and see if that looks. Well, it looks like something. Ain't sure it looks like anything good. And go ahead and clear out some of our odds and ends, our little tidbits. Whoop, nope, that ain't it. Clear that. Clear that. Nope, I'm stuck on eraser now. I went and done did it again. Not really using chalk? No, I wasn't. I was using gouache, gouache, whatever it's called. I feel like this might be too distinctive. Even in a rotate brush, people might recognize the pattern if we got a star like that. So, let's say this is our star, and then let's go to the color expression tab, whatever the heck that is. Something worth learning, methinks. This one. You know, I think that might actually be the one. Gray. Am I on the wrong layer? No. Apply it. Layer. That, oh, nope, not subcolor. Not that one either. Man, I thought that would work. Expression color's gray. Let me take a look-see back at our lovely tutorial, and we will see if we can't figure this one out. Looking for... Ah! We want a convert layer with the shortcut H? That's hand. Okay. Do I need to magic wand it? No, that's how you delete the outlines if you do a picture. That's what I thought. Right click, we gives you on top of the layer the photograph is, or the drawed. We look for convert layer. Maybe matter of right clicking over this. And convert layer. Now I reckon that, but we're set to gray though. Oh, I guess it makes a new layer. But it's still set to gray. Maybe the issue's that it's vector? Don't know why that'd affect anything. Well, vector image material layer. Sure, why not? Okay. Nope, that don't do it either. Ah, big smiley face. Here's the color from color to gray. No, and this ain't a photo. Well, no, I reckon that adds just a tiny bit of complexity. We've hit our first roadblock. let me see about CSP convert layer to grayscale. I will say the one thing that I've appreciated about Clip Studio as opposed to Krita, besides the more advanced selection tools, which frankly I don't know if Krita actually has more or not. But I will say that Clip Studio has some darn good support and documentation that's just easier to approach. At least for now. Make a sale layer. Reduce the layer saturation to 0. Oh yes, that gets complicated. Make a layer below the one you want and set composite mode of the layer you want to change to grayscale to lowest brightness. Interesting. So what you're saying is, let's make this layer just full on solid. It ain't, hey, we can actually do this. You're white. Oh, there's a smiley face on it. I reckon I forgot that was there. Let's do this one instead. There we go. I suppose refer to only to editing. You know what? Let's just hide the star. Although that, I'm actually increasingly confident that might actually be a good brush pattern. Let's undo. Let's go and just fill the whole darn thing while that star is not there. Take care of that problem. Now this, pardon me. Let's see. No, it ain't hard light. It ain't anything. What the heck is the compositing? Compositing mode. That's something I can dig into here. Blend mode. That ain't a composite mode. Or brightness. Okay. Hey, and that worked. We got ourselves a gray. Even got a little bit of texture variance in there, and that's really what matters for this test. So let's see. You gotta save this in the materials library. So is that gonna be alright, file? Now what's the button? Because I don't see, or perhaps edit. And then material record and then image. Y'all see material? Hey, register material. It ain't even the same hotkey anymore, but I reckon we done did find it. Image. Oh. Now I reckon. I don't think if I merge them, it's gonna maintain the same thing. Maybe if I just have them both selected when I do that. Yeah, that did it. Register material. Use a box. Okay. Material name. Star Test 1, I reckon. Siphimir. I don't see any other text boxes, and I reckon there's... Oh! I reckon I forgot a step. I forgot an important step. This now needs to be filled with this. Everything except the star, mind. But, as we've seen, that should be awkward and bad, but we'll work with it. Oh, that ain't the button I wanted. Okay, so once again, whoa. Oh, stay in full screen, please. Edit. Register material. Image. Ah, there we go. Star Test 1. Siphimir. That's my name. Granted, Siphimir wouldn't that based on a D&D character would not ever have talked with this accent. Let's see, we're gonna check use for brush tip shape because that is the goal after all. And then storing material, all materials, image material. Now I reckon, yeah, there's probably a lot of them. Okay. Library Textures and Materials has an infinite number of files, according to this lovely guide. So we should add another level of, not another level, wow, not another lever, another level. Another level of labeling to find it more easily later. We're going to call it, well, they call it sheets. I'm going to call it, let's see, inside of this. How do I add a thing? Oh, you can add tags. Let's see. My custom brush tips. Sure. Um, sure. Then repeat it with all the different ones we want. Okay, so I reckon we're gonna have a little bit of work to do here. Might end up being a little bit confetti looking, but that's okay. Now, I hope we don't need to actually save this document we're doing this on. Because I got me some plans, and they're silly. Oh, cool, I guess we could have just pulled that layer. Probably would have been better, but no matter. We're learning. Actually, in the name of not losing all this stuff, am gonna save this just in case. Star 1. Pardon me, let me get some water. Sorry about that. Let's keep on going. And we're gonna put Star 1 away. We are gonna try to click out of that folder best we can, make ourselves some new things. We can get ourselves a vector and a raster, one of each. I'm still gonna just immediately fill this one proper with white. Ought to just do the whole darn back. You know what? Smarter plan. Background's white. Now I'm just gonna put away the raster. Sorry about that. Okay. We can even do a darker brush for this one, see if we get a little more variance. Let's do ourselves a little bit of a smaller star this time, don't y'all think? Something fun. Could even make it. And normally in a star, these would be one straight line across, so I can tell I've already messed up. I'm okay with that. Yeah, and then I want this. Whoa, nope, not that one, but brightness. I mean, it's already gray. It's fine. So let's see if we remember the path now. No guides. Edit. Register material. Image. Best way to learn something and really remember it is repetition. Start. Test 2. Now, what did I forget, y'all? Hope y'all remember, because I do. We forgot to hide the background. Now let's try this again. File. Export single layer. Nope, that ain't it. Edit. Register material. Image. Star tip or star test 2. Enter. Yeah, all materials. Now where am I going wrong this time? Besides the fact that the star is blue again. Why is it blue again? Is that even the same star? Okay, it is. Layer number 3. We're bringing back the raster layer. We are gonna hide this. We're gonna fill this one with white. We're gonna show this one again. And then we're gonna unfill everything else. Or rather, fill it with transparent again. There we go. I probably ought to save this at some point, but I'm gonna continue and hope it doesn't crash. If it does, that's karma. Anyway, if I were to do edit, register material, I bet this won't work. Nope. But if I were to select both layers, even if I hide that one, let's try this. Edit, register material, image. Nope. But if I show both, now here's the one I actually expect to work, but we're going to find out if I'm super wrong still. Nope, I done did something wrong. Where are we messing up? What's the mistake? When in doubt, go back to the guide. Right. Edit material record image. Did it matter that I set this as a image vector layer before? We can try that again. Convert layer. Gray. Oop, nope, not that, but a vector image material layer. Blending mode brightness. Okay. Now let's try this again. Edit. Register material. Image. No. Include both. That is what we did last time. Edit. Register material. Image. Nope. I want to use it for the brush tip. Why can't I do that? Did I do something different in this one? I mean, I did a few things different in that one. It's got a whole bunch of weirdness. 100% normal. Brightness on that. Why is this called layer 4 too now? Did I put, is it because I put a filter like the converted thing? Okay. I guess it replaces layer 4, but it does it after it's already named it, so it's not layer 4 anymore, it's layer 4 version 2. Hey, fair enough. Now let's see. Okay. Now I reckon, I don't know why it ain't working the second time. I thought we had this down pat. So let's see. We had both selected. The edit. We said register material. We said image. Gave it a name. Star test 2. Wants to save, choose a valid save location. All materials. Image material. Okay. But like, why can't I set use for brush tip shape? I need that button's supposed to be there. Important. Maybe if I don't save it as an image material? We're experimenting now, y'all. Getting into the weeds a little bit before we try looking something up. Register material. Template? Nope, that ain't it. Oh, but I've just figured out how to make like comic strip box. I mean, it has a better tool for comic strip boxes here, but I can do some fun stuff with this. Having a pre-built image template certainly got its use. Oh, that does lead me to the question. Do I have to do this in a new document? I honest to goodness don't know. I thought this would be easier than the first one, not harder. Edit. Register material image. Specify order. Oh, now that's interesting. No, all the, I mean, sound effect, text, well, I guess effect is probably where this ought to go. No matter. No matter. Image material. That's the place, right? That's where we put the other one? Yeah, it is. Okay. I reckon we ought to just keep on going with this one. So star dip 2. Let's see if there's any problems with it being what it is. Whoop, nope. I guess y'all can see some of the swords I've been making. Not not all winners, although that was an interesting effect, I'll admit. Another time we'll dig through some more of those. Or you can always check them out on my Sif Streams Twitter. Like you do. Sure. If I click OK, did that work? I don't know. I didn't tag it, so I'm gonna go with I'm never gonna find it again. So there's that. Uh-huh. What'd I do different? Didn't merge the layers. They're both vector layers, right? Yeah, I reckon they are. Actually, they're like, I don't know what that is. Image vector? Now I can show that. I can. Yeah. I don't know why that ain't working. Maybe I do need a fresh document. Well, tell you what. Let's save this one. Let's just throw it in, not Swordtember. But Sif Streams drawing seems like the right place, don't y'all think? We'll make a brush tip folder. I expect to be making more of these. Brushes slash PC plus materials. Picky about their file names. Easy way, well, it's not easy when your operating system's been going for ages, but there are ways to make it where that's, you know, not mandatory, and you can just name your files whatever the heck. But, oh well. Yes, it's probably too late to fix that. Star tip test 1. Sure. Just in case that did it, even though it'd make no sense if it did. Sure. No. Scale, no. Aerial settings for brush. What am I missing? Let's see. CSP. Save. Drawing as brush material. Looking up another guide. A guide for the guide. Saving images to materials library. I mean, is it an image if I just made it? Okay. Let's see. That's something you need to think about. Da, da, da. By the way, this next guide is by Liz Staley. Again, don't know who that is, but I gotta give credit where it's due, you know? I ain't here to copy people's other stuff. Let's see. Watermark, text, yeah. Nope, no, okay. Edit register material image. Same deal. Why do they just have options when I don't? What's, I need it selected? I shouldn't, right? Maybe I didn't last time. But you know, ain't no harm in trying it. Well, ain't any harm. I guess there is some harm in the sense of time. Sure. Uh-huh. Oh, I thought that'd work. Edit. Register material. Image. Nope, that weren't it either. This feels silly. This feels like it's ought to be easy. Let's see. Hmm. Let's see. Register material used for brush tip grayed out. That's what I'm gonna search. I'll use for brush tip grayed out. I reckon that might be. Sure. Yeah, this looks like the problem. I have a ruler attached to that image, but I ain't touched a ruler. Ruler tool situational at best. Then the issue that I converted it to a new layer and I should have not done that. Let's see. Oh, good. That definitely don't look more broken than the last one. I'll convert layer. Let's just make it a raster layer, why don't we? Y'all think that worked? I doubts it, but let's find out. Well, there's more options. Maybe it actually did do something. Nope. Nope. Someone else with the same problem. See? Yeah, yes. The brush material can't be a brush tip. And what the heck did I just use to make the other one? Man. Let me do a little bit more research, and y'all, sorry about this. we're just gonna jump right in here. Oh, this looks like an old guide. Yep, and they've just got the option. Edit register material image. The same path. You just draw a thing. Just gotta draw it in gray. Maybe it's because I've already, yeah, maybe it is because I've already used this document. So let's just do file new. Let's just do square. This one with a flat white, that's fine. Okay, new day, new brush, you know? Damn, I actually kind of likes that star, but no matter. If we made it once, we can make it again. We even still got the same brush settings. Wait, no. What's to remember? Making the star too fat. Making it too pointy. There we go. What's to make up my mind on how pointy I want it to be. There we go, one of them casual stars. Again, we're just trying to learn this as we go. File edit register material image. Yeah, okay, maybe that was the issue. Star tip 2. Wait, no, star test 2. Use for paper texture. Wish I remembered what the heck I named the other one. That was silly of me. My custom brush tips. I think that was it. If anyone was watching, I'd ask y'all to check the VOD, but I know there's no one watching right now. That's A-okay, by the way. Ain't no shame in that. And then I assume if I just make a new layer and remove the old one, that ain't gonna cut it. Can't just make like a, you know, one of these. Why ain't I drawing? I'm on the eraser? Yeah, I'm on the eraser. One of, like, you know, the little, like, sparkle doodads. Edit. Register material image. Nope, okay, I ain't got a stinking clue why the other one didn't work. Use a brush tip shape. Star test 3. All materials, image material. My custom brush tips. I'd like to figure out why that other one didn't work one of these days. But honest goodness, I ain't got the faintest idea why it didn't. So, okay, I reckon, assuming it's going to let us keep doing this, let's do 2 more. I reckon that'll be about right. I reckon this is looking right messy, but it probably oughta. We kind of want a denser color on this one anyway, honestly. I shouldn't have used vector for that. I'd have used rough, probably. Like a slightly more rounded thing. A little more believable that I didn't just erase a hole in it. Pop that back down to 6 if you would. There we go. Looks silly. That's okay. Let's try this again. Edit. Register material. Image. Use for brush tip. Star tip test 4. Wait, no, just star test 4. Image material. My custom brush tips. And I'm leaning into this accent way too hard now. But we'll go a little longer. Only got one more of these to do. Kind of a sparkly spot. Edit. Register material. Image. Star test. What? 5? I think 5's more than enough. Use for brush tip shape. Put this in image materials. My custom brush tips. I think that was it. Okay. Now, I'm going to put us on a slight pause, and then we'll get back on track with actually making the darn brush. What do y'all say to that? I'll see y'all in just a minute. Howdys and salutations, y'all. Looks like we're jumping right back into it. And, I just got to take a moment to say, looking at how this is done, they've taken a fascinating approach to making new brushes that's honestly kind of ingenious. I thought it was going to be, like, just terrible at first, but it's proper clever, I gotta say. Normally, when you see something like this, the way you'd make a new brush would be, I don't know, like, you'd just have, like, some new brush button, and all the settings would be on default. And yeah, there might be some other options, but everyone would just use the default one, at least amateurs. But Clip Studio Paint, the only way to do it is to copy an existing brush. And I'm sure for pros that's real stinking annoying, because like you can't just use your default settings, you gotta go manually change stuff, remove things, etc. Like when I first heard about that, I was like, wow, that's kind of a lazy fix. But if you think about their goal being not to just let pros make brushes, but to help build a catalog where even amateur newbies can make a new brush, they're actually pretty clever. Because a newbie's just going to pick the brush that looks most like the one they want and make the copy of that and edit it. And that means most of the settings to actually make it look nice for that specific type of brush are already there and done. So instead of having just a whole bunch of cookie cutter default setting ones that look basically the same and don't work super great, you're setting people on the right path. So to that end, I think we need to jump in here a little bit. Pardon me. Es tut mir leid, aber it does appear that the guide is both in another language and an older version, like I mentioned before. Once again, this is the excellent guide. I can probably throw it back in chat again. I don't think I've copied and pasted anything else since. I haven't, but it still forgot it. So let me just copy it from when I typed it earlier, just in case anyone wants to see. This is an excellent little guide by Maca Blue Art. Thank you, Maca Blue. Makey Blue. I honestly don't know the proper way to say it, so I'm just going to lean into the accent and apologize that I'm probably getting it horribly wrong either way. That's my bad. But what we're going to do is, I think the brush we want is probably, I don't know, pointillism. Let's right click this and let's just duplicate the subtool. Look there, right on top. New name, Star Test 1, or Star Test Siphimir. Output process, direct draw, input process, brush, oil paint icon. Let's see. Oh, cool. You can actually right out pick the icon. I realize it's technically an oil paint. I probably ought to leave it like that. But, like. A, I reckon it's really probably more of a decoration. And B, I wonder if you can import custom icons into that, because there's some cool potential there. Okay, we got start test, because I can't spell my own thing right. Now, I bet you I can't rename it. Maybe I can. Anyway, we duplicate it. Let's crack open them settings. Tend to live in this little tab here on my setup. You may have it different, but wherever, normally you've got two sections. You got your picking your brush output, and then there's like the detail settings one with the gear. We're looking in the gear now. Heard something at my door. It's probably fine. Let's jump into one of these. Not reset to default, but show the subtool palettes. We're gonna click the wrench here. Cool. Is there a name fix option? I mean, start test ain't wrong per se, but it also ain't right. Okay. Let's go down to brush tip. Let's toss whatever's in here. I was told not to use the delete key. I don't know why, but I assumed that it'd break something if I did. So, let's add some new brush tips. Oh, good, user tags, but these are like all the user tags, so let's go to my custom brush tip. Oh, okay, cool. We've got the 4 I tagged correctly and not the one that I tagged somewhat differently. That's fine. See if it'll let me pick all of them. This one being inverted colors is probably going to be an issue. Created material? I guess the other one didn't save. Ah, whatever. It's fine, it's fine. Okay. We got our 4. Again, no possible way to go wrong with one being inverted. Oopsie daisy. Okay, so. So we've changed that. We've changed our materials. Neat. So neat and neat. Wow. Stuttering on the word neato. That's just proper odd. Anyway, everything we've been doing. Open the material library. Why? No, we did. Okay, just did that. Okay. We need to be. Oh yeah. So I got a bit ahead of it. That's my bad. Okay. Now options. I guess we mess with parameters until it looks right. Um. Yeah, basically. Okay. Putting away the guide for now. Let's just mess with this. Where's brush tip size? I know there's one. Brand effect, particle size, bigger. Particle density, less. Uh, much less? Oh dear. Hmm. Guess we can rotate them. Now that does look a bit like a blur. Is there a way to spread these out a tad? I'd have thought that'd be particle density, honest. Ray deviation? More? They're so squatty. Come on, why only expand it in a few axes? So one of these, I think the problem is... well, there's a couple problems here, I reckon. Actually, the background doesn't seem to be one of them. But what is the problem is they're all the same size, and they're all just in a line. So we get some weird bad snake vertebra thing. But that ain't really what we're aiming for. So we're gonna not do that. Let's see what we can do. Bigger gap. Um, let's just clear out whatever that is. Oops, I need to go back to my brush. Oh, I got it. Bigger gap. Oh, bigger gap. That's better. Discontinuous. I don't see a huge difference with that. That's fine. Repeat method. Oh, here we go. Random. Clear some of that out. Guess we can put this off to the side. Okay, so now our order's a little different. That's good. Texture, maybe. Texture none. I mean, I guess we can throw some of these in here, but I'm not sure it's gonna do much. Whatever. It's fine. Brush shape. Dual brush? No. Brush tip. Brand effect. That's for dual brush. Okay. I guess if there's two brushes, okay, that makes sense. Watercolor edge? No, we don't want that. I know enough to know we don't want that. It's useful for other things, but not for this. Race? No. Correction? No. No, not really. Stabilization. Anything, can we get the opposite? Pardon. Okay, brush size. I guess you can specify a range. Ink opacity 100, color mixing something, paint density, no, color jitter, that's the color itself. I do like that there's some though, we'll leave that. Aliasing. Not too huge a difference on this one. Brush shape. Oh, this may be where we're getting some benefits. Spray. Nah, that ain't doing it. Oh wait, no, apply brush shape. Okay. That's getting us some better variants though, I'd say. Let's look through the list before we commit to that. These lines are fun. Dotted line, I think, might be a fun one. I suppose star would be fitting, wouldn't it? But nah, let's do dashed line. Apply that. Brush tip. However, we're gonna toss this one again. Gonna import some new ones. Create materials. You know what? Let's just do these three, just in case. I think we probably lost a lot of our settings when we messed with some of that top stuff, but that's okay. That did something. That's closer. Horizontal brush density. That's no. Spray and effect. Spray and effect. Oh, interesting. Particle density much less. Spray deviation much more. Maybe less. Oh, interesting. Not what I expected that scale to do. Okay. And I guess the biggest thing left is brush size. Oh, nope. Back to 12 with the. Back to 12, I say. Um, I would like the particles to be a little bit bigger. Make it recognizable, you know? Sound spray and effect. Particle size. Um, or let's, you know what? Save those as default. And let's just zoom in on this and see what we're actually getting with these. Maybe that's the secret. I mean, yeah, they're there, but like, they ain't there. These are still too close together. Man. Okay. Keep on tweaking. I don't think that made a notable difference. Keep messing with angle, but no. Not making it better or worse. But it ain't gonna help it. Brush density. Yes. Okay. Get a sparse one. Oh, we'll try brush density again. See if it actually does what I thought it would. Ay. So faded. Huh. That's what it is. The density of how much it actually puts down. Well, that's certainly something. Doopa-doopa-doo. Well, it's certainly an intriguing material, ain't it? Oh. Let's clear this out once again. We're learning a whole bunch of different metrics that are going to be real handy here one of these days. Particle density. No. So much no it lags. Spray deviation. Those two. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that does work the way I thought it did. Just surprised. Maybe if we don't do spray and effect. I'll zoom in on that. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe we don't do spray and effect. See if we can't vary some other stuff. Repeat method, I thought I said random, but I guess we lost that with the settings. Well, okay, this is cute, but tiny. No, not that way. Well, now, I guess maybe brush size? Oh. Well, certainly an intriguing something. It looks like spin art. Like the stuff you do when you put it on a wheel and you like let it just go. Fascinating. Also looks like a horrible mess of barbed wire. And like something I should erase. Brush size. Specify by size on screen. Bigger brush. But now I definitely need them to be. It's warping them so bad. Why is it expanding one axis more than the other? And things out. Fascinating bit of chaos with this, though, I will say. Make an interesting band name cover with that. Why is it so warpy? Yeah, I know it's a star. Parameter help. Let's see. Eh. Wait, if I press harder, does it? Oh. So it's oh, that's neat. But it's still not helping. Like the harder I press, the better that goes. So I don't want circle. We don't want material. I want, is thickness the problem? need more? Now, that's just fascinating. The heck happened with this? It feels like there should be a sweet spot. Based on this, it shouldn't be this mess. Huh. Maybe this way? Oh no, that ain't better. Oh, it shows whether you're showing it on the main page. Oh, that's handy. It's like exposing the variable. That's neato. Brush density less. Guess this was still better than the alternative. Brush density more. We still know that ain't solving it. Guess you get a call from Spamton every once in a while. Really cheers things up. Oh, and we died, but it's fine. Okay, spray in effect. Is this what we wanted? Um, yes? Question mark? I know. Bigger particles. Fascinating. Interesting type of shading we got going on with that kind of nonsense. Feels like a black hole. World's about to consume. But that's not what we want. Lower spray deviation. Spray deviation seems to have some interesting effects that I don't always predict accurately. Like, I would assume a lower spray deviation results in a higher density towards the center. But no. Like, this is clearly deviating less, even though I've set the spray deviation to max, or at least a lot. Whereas now, that's deviating way more. Their definition of deviation or maximum is different, which baffles me. Maybe the issue is we picked the wrong kind of brush for this. I can crack the guide back open. We can poke our heads in there again. What do y'all say? Probably ought to make a proper tutorial on this at some point, but I don't want to just copy someone else's tutorial. That ain't cool. Okay. So what we made this last time was, what was it? Was it a, Imperial brush? Great, no, man. Particle brush, but the next category is called particle brush configuration. Maybe that's what we need. Maybe we copied the wrong kind of brush for this material. Because maybe the overlap is sort of an inherent part of it, but I assume not. I mean, maybe dashed line is a wrong template brush shape. I assume dash. Oh, let's try dotted line. Apply that. Okay, those are more our size. Then if I just change the brush tip, having a material instead, I just use, you know. Hey, they got books. I was wondering how to do that. I want to make my own on that sort of thing. That's the thing. So. Oh, why are you still so warply warped? Oh, see that? That's bizarro. Let's assume that we just had one. Can I just say, watching this like squiggle around is so silly. But no, like even this, it just does this. Okay, and now even the circles are all wibble warped. What changed? What changed to make polka dot like this? It was just following the dot template. Like we were just following dotted line. Apply brush shape. It's this. It's this. By the way, like this brush. I want to use it again sometime. Oh, neat. And just expose that and then have any room I want. But I bet you I probably already have that under the little sparkle tool, don't I? Brush tip. Okay, let's look at these settings. We got hardness 4, thickness 100, direction vertical splash, no angle max density. Same stats. Same exact stats. Flip horizontal and flip vertical get added in lieu of hardness. That where we're going wrong? Oh, nope. No, we just get more of our weird squishy mess. I like that. Now if I go back to circle, it still works. Okay, that's interesting. There's the star. How's it even generating this from that photo? What did I do wrong in the tier? New idea. Weird thought. Delete that. That's fine. We'll add a new one. My custom brushes. Let's just try this one, because it's weird. Nope, it's still warpy. Clean this out and examine the warpy more thorough-like, though. Just a tap does that. Straight line does that. I mean, that clearly ain't what we're meant to be doing with this. Let's put this one away. We'll put a pin in that brush, perhaps. By that, I mean, I don't think we've made anything we need to save on that. It's been a neat little test, you know. We can just patch that one. That's fine. Now let's try copying something a little different. Let's go on over to one of these, mayhaps. One that is meant to be a texture spray. Maybe even one of these. I mean, heck, let's even use Sparkle. That's basically what we want this to do. Duplicate subtool. Star test. Tool icon. Yeah, that's probably fine. Okay. Star test. Let's jump back into them settings. And all we need to do is do a little material swap. That is default. This one, sure. Now, it ain't even drawing squat. Is that a color issue? A layer issue? Do I not know how to use this brush? Particle density. We need a higher particle density. Maybe. And this looks like it's gonna be. I mean, even looking at how these are showing up in here, that's like that. Just animating that little. Hey, cool that they did it that way. I wonder what sort of random noise or something they're using that. They look like they're flowing at me. That's cool. But that don't change the fact they ain't showing up on the canvas. What's wrong? We need the other one. Our nasty weird star. Okay. Yeah. Oh, they're there. They use the secondary color because it's inverted. That's right. But my secondary color was blue, weren't it? So why ain't that showing up? Well, I'm confused about that, but at least I understand what's happening. And this does look closer to the brush we wanted. So let me whoop, let me hopefully not lose my voice from talking all this time in this accent. Do a little bit more drawing. I wonder if there's a way for me to, I guess, I wonder how much size control you really got in terms of picking this. Because I kind of like some of these to be much smaller than the other ones. But then I did kind of draw them all. There is size variance. Interesting. Particle size. Interesting. Oh, interesting. Adjust it with velocity. That's going to be weird. All is fast. That's actually a pretty fun brush, ain't it? Especially on that small size. Y'all know? I think we got ourselves a brush. It's got a million and one flaws, but we've learned some things. And when we go fast, it's all like little sparkles. Hey! And that don't even look half bad as sparkles. We could even get some nice, like, let me pick a color set that won't look bad. I've been loving these low spec color sets, by the way. Grand time with these. Now, I suppose I ought to. Well, I mean, it was working earlier. Maybe I have to save as default. Okay. Now, how do I pick the colors on this? Start test. I mean, I'd have thought these colors would have done it. Um, color jitter, brush tip color, randomized per stroke. Now, that's a wild one. Also, don't seem to be working. Okay, if using a brush tip image with a fixed color, these images will not change with the brush color. Cool. How do I change that? Color mix and blend in mode normal, color jitter, like brush shape. Ah, it's a fun brush shape. What setting is it on, anywho? None of them. Neato. Brush tip. Ah, I could have sworn we could draw in different colors. B, I could have sworn I just changed the shades of gray in a way that made it show up better, but maybe that was just the opacity of the. Let me go back to the guide. When in doubt, go back to the guide. Great big book of everything with everything inside. What am I saying? Let's see. Testing the colors. Bottom of the toolbar, there's 3 color spaces. Yes, I'm aware of that. There it says, I do believe this is in, I want to say Portuguese. I can't read Portuguese, unfortunately. Take away. Black. How do I make the color changeable? Did I do something wrong when I imported the images? That's intriguing. Particle brush config. No, it looks like, okay, wait. Theirs is just red from the start. That's disconcerting. This one, yeah, colors are affecting that. Okay, so the color just ain't wonder if there's a way. Probably has to do with how we imported it as an image, don't y'all think? Yeah, that complicates things. But you know what else it does? Gives us a chance to test another tool I've been meaning to mess with. Oh, this will be a fun time. Let's slow and easy big shapes, and then fast and fast and fast. I swear faster does make them smaller. It's not a whole lot, because brush pressure also affects it. Oh yeah, I guess I just need to go real fast, and then put ourselves like a whole universe of stars. Actually, real quick, one more setting we might be able to mess with. I know we messed with it earlier. Rain effect. Direction. Random. There we go. Try that. Now, hopefully. Oh, it's a little hard to tell now that we've thrown so much on the page. Let's just clean it up and have another go. There we go. A little bit of chaos in there. Add some variance, methinks. What we're going to want with some other stuff. Oop, I don't need to save this. Now, This is a slight divergence. Let's do a gradient map. What do y'all say? Kate made the brush with the swords. That's okay. For now that we're taking maybe you make that brush off screen. We can make a whole slew of them. Just have a brush party. Wait. I don't want to make a gradient map in Photoshop. Flip Studio Paint, please. As much as their sales model change, I'm sure it's annoying people. I mean, on the one hand, I don't love it. On the other hand, it's still leagues and bounds better than Photoshop. So, yeah. Oh. Okay, I guess step one is applying a tonal correction. Interesting phrasing. On the layer palette, select a layer. Done. Select edit menu, tonal correction, level correction. Oh wait, edit. Edit. Tonal. Oh, so right here. Okay, so I guess they're definitely not meant to be used hand in hand, but like you can. Level correction. Let's see. Turn on the preview and adjust the settings while checking the final result. So I can now mess around with each of these tones. For example, I could make this one. Okay, no, that ain't what I want. On preview panel and adjust the settings while checking. What I'd like to do is be able to pop in a few more of these. Wow, that really is all one bar. That's fascinating. Green. Ooh, that's I'll be honest. Don't quite know what I'm doing. I mean, it's neat. Don't get me wrong, but tonal correction will be applied to the end. Okay. To adjust settings while checking the final result. Select the channel to adjust brightness. Triangular point at the base of the histogram to adjust the brightness of the overall image. Okay, so that's this one. Gotcha. Histogram, by the way. It's been a long time since I've heard that word. Well, stats. Probability. Good times. Move the control point beneath output to adjust the intensity of the brightest points and darkest points. We can move the intensity away from those and just make everything real flat and boring and sad. Or we can max it out. I mean, I went and messed with just green. I shouldn't have done that. Let's cancel that. Okay. What that didn't tell me was how to gradient map it. Oh, correct. Oh, oops. Should have read the instructions. I know they always say that. Hey, welcome. How's it going? How's it going? You still here? I hope I didn't miss you. Please tell me I didn't miss you again. That'd be right embarrassing. And I seem to have developed a terrible southern accent this stream. I promise I ain't normally got it. Man, I need to check chat. Hey, woo! Thanks for dropping by the other day. I did see you, but I didn't notice until way too late because I'd accidentally put a reference image over my chat. That's my bad. I am sorry. How y'all been? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, no, today I'm just messing around in Clip Studio Paint, learning to make brushes and such. It's a fun time. Let me see if I can. I'm terrible. Once I get into a character accent, I'm terrible getting out of it. Give me just a second. Okay, let's see. There's a bit more of a normal voice, a little bit less, probably still going to have a bit of a southern twang. That happens. But better, back to normal. Well, thanks for dropping by. Yeah, absolutely. I don't, I always say participation's optional in these streams. Like, no, I mean, I was just messing around with it. I do not normally have a southern accent, but I figured I'd lean into it for this stream. No, it's not. It's fun to mess with. I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm learning to do different accents for characters and stuff to help tell them apart. Some are better than others. My southern's fairly fairly believable these days, but it ain't, it ain't the best in the world. Um, Southern U.S., I suppose I ought to clarify to the extent that that matters. Um, let's see. Yeah, no, I've got a pretty, I don't know what you call this, generic American TV voice. I have no idea. Not much of an accent by American standards, I'd suppose. Still a quick talker, though. I'll admit that. Yeah, no, I'm just messing with. Actually, I was trying to figure out a gradient map on this thing. Oh, hey! Yeah, I work with some folks in the UK. It's a fun accent. Well, it's a fun whole massive variety of accents. Yeah, yeah, no, glad I ran into y'all. The y'all is legit. I do say y'all and ain't and reckon. Eh, can't fully escape the Texan, you know? But that's the way of it. Correction. Gradient map. I just clicked the wrong button the first time. Cool. Yeah, I've been looking to see if I could catch y'all while you were live and like jump back in and say hi again. Unfortunately, I may have slightly overcommitted to Swordtember, the drawing contest. Not contest, but just thing. And so all my streams ran like an hour long. And then I just had to go to sleep because unfortunately work approaches. Speaking of which, it's got to be early in the morning for y'all at this point. What is it? Plus 7 roughly. Does that be a 9, 10, 11, 12? Either super late at night or super early in the morning. Yeah, they're okay. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been meaning to get into more Saturday streams. I was thinking it'd be just a fun thing to like do some, I don't know. Yeah, some simple drawing would be fun, but also like I don't know, Stardew Valley or some simple just mindless games. Yeah, I need to jump back into Pumpkinhead stream too. But yeah, don't don't burn yourself out on sleep. I've absolutely been on the 3:30 stream review or stream watching before. That comes back to bite you in the morning. uh, fair enough, fair enough. Everyone's got their own schedule. I used to have a lot more variety, like flexibility in my sleep schedule. Uh, but then I had to go and sting and get a job. Oh well. Wait. Let's see. Okay, so this ain't quite working. Guess it's just gradient. Interesting. Interesting that that's how that's working. I'll have to mess with that later. But yeah, how's the turtle doing? Always a always a fan of checking in on pets too. I had a absolutely bizarre pet back in the day. Yeah, sorry. Good, good. Yeah. I had a pet. I mean, they've got a million names. I know him as Crawfish. Back when I was a kid, we we got him at a grocery store, which is not where you're supposed to get pets. But apparently it escaped the pot. And so they decided, you know, we could put it back in the pot, or we could give it to the nearby 6-year-old and say, hey, why don't you take this home? And for some reason, they decided to do the second thing. uh, fun, fun though. I mean, we had him for like 2 years. He was a great pet. Shockingly clever in that it figured out how to escape quite a bit. You wouldn't think that. Wild little critter. Oh, that's the craziest story. So we were like, we were just standing there, in the grocery store, in a central market, just being like, oh, someone is handing us a living crawfish in a small plastic container, normally designed for like, I don't know, coleslaw or something. And we're like, so the question that comes to mind, the first question is, well, what should we call it? And the person at the store counter is like, whoa, why don't you name him after me? And so we look, and this man is named Poochie, which is not a name I'm familiar with then or since. I don't know if that's common in the UK. It's not common here to my knowledge. So yeah, we named it Poochie. um, no, like Poochie, based on the name tag. Like, yeah, if it was spelled like that, I'd think, oh, maybe it's like an Italian last name or something. But like, no, it's it was wild. And like, seriously, they are clever critters. Like we had a whole bunch of little, yeah, like I don't know that it's common anywhere. Um, but we had a whole bunch of like tall little plants in this fish tank because they like to live in water, as we learned the hard way, because this was early enough that the internet didn't have a lot of guides on taking care of crawfish, except in well, let's just say the only way that the internet could tell you how to prepare a crawfish was for a crawfish boil, and that wasn't exactly what we were going for. So we figured it out eventually, put it in a fish tank, got it some like tall, thin plants that you put like pebbles in the bottom to hold down, and it figured out it can bury all but one of them so that they floated at the top. It climbed up the remaining one and then walked across the floating ones out the top of the tank. That was that was a wild pet, let me tell you. But you may not like. I didn't know at that age that they also shed their shells. So occasionally, yeah, it's like a mini lobster. That's exactly it. If you've been playing Elden Ring, they're the things that snipe you from across the map. I felt very betrayed by my pet. But no, no. But the actual like they're clever critters. Um, yeah, it lived like a couple years. We had to get a house sitter for it one time when we when we went traveling, which I'm sure was the. I mean, it's not that hard of a pet request. You just put the food in the morning, wave to it, it waves its little claws back, um, kind of does its thing. Yeah, no, Poochie was wild. That was a good time. I hadn't thought about that like Poochie in ages. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, when your folks are allergic to all the normal ones, you've got to make do with something creative. Let's see on here. Sure. Oh, interesting. So I guess that only affected the ones already on there. I'm just learning brushes today, so I can do some petal brushes to make the prompt for Swordtember that we're doing next is Floral. So I was gonna make a little petal brush, but step one was learning how the heck to make brushes. So we're figuring it out bit by bit. Interestingly, it looks like the orange did apply to the inverted color one I made by accident. Huh. But yeah, no, I've just been drawing this evening. I mean, I can show you some of the stuff we've made for Swordtober. Yeah. Yeah, I've got, it should all be in the Twitch description, but I can also pull up, let me crack open the window. It's sifstreams.start.page. You can find all the stuff on here. Let me see if I can't pull the link to this and huck that in chat real quick if you want to see it. Yeah, I'm semi-active. I'm trying to get a better routine about it. Definitely, I may move away from Facebook. I need to replace that one a little bit, but Twitter is where I've been posting the art lately. Made some, it's not all great. It's been a little hit or miss trying to keep up with daily drawings, but some of them are fun. Uh, I do try to come up with the silliest prompt, like thing for every prompt. I'm not always they're not always good answers for the prompts, but they're fun to mess with. Day 8 was veined, and I figured we'd get a lot of like gory, gruesome stuff, so I went with an ore vein on this one. Had some fun with that. Learned a lot making that one, but also stayed up like an hour and a half longer than I should have. Some interesting crystal techniques on that one. Oh, this one I just ran out of time and had to do a sketch, but I figured, you know, even if I'm sketching, I might as well learn something, so I practiced the symmetry tool a bit. This one I'm proud of. The prompt was liquid, and so I went with honey because I figured everyone would do water or something like that. And I wanted to see if I could draw something a little more viscous, which honestly, honey texture actually worked pretty well. Hexagons could have put a little, the shading on those could have been better, but you know, at some point you gotta call it with these things. Thanks. Yeah, no. Oh, edible, this one was just dumb. I was like, I could make a food-themed sword, or I could literally see if I could make a sword with like a thumbtack and a chocolate bar. Don't make this one at home. I mean, you could. It wouldn't be hard. but I'm not sure it'd be good. Oh, this one was fun. I had a lot of in my D&D campaign recently. I gave the players an armillary sphere, which is an old medieval tool for predicting like star alignments and calendar. It's a nifty little device. Very complicated one. I mean, creativity ain't easy. I find creativity doesn't come naturally, so I spend a lot of I don't know if you can practice brainstorming, but basically just I spend a lot of time trying to think out. I'm like, okay, here's the first 3 ideas that come to mind. Let's set those aside. What weird stuff can we think up? And like once you get the first things that come to mind out of the way, then you can get to interesting. This one was the hardest to brainstorm by far. The stinking Tootsie Roll on a thumbtack didn't take much effort. This one though, like, because the prompt was gears, and so I was like, okay, we could do a steampunky sword. We could. I spent a long time trying to draw a sword where someone had like split a gear in half and like bent it open to use as the blade, and it just wasn't coming together. So sort of in the 11th hour, I was like, well, I like medieval things. To heck with it. Let's just go for it. And so I did, and I spent ages on this one, but it was fun. And I honestly, this is probably the best looking one of the bunch. Oh, this one was just silly. Yeah. So that's one thing I've been doing is oh, candle was just fun. Some of these I do my own color schemes. Some of them I've been using a resource to come like. That's why I've got color palette courtesy of SLS08. I found a group that does color palettes specifically for pixel art. So they tend to be fairly small, fairly like organized palettes that have really good like accent colors. So instead of trying to go for a full gradient of like 60 some odd shades and stuff, I'm like, okay, we're getting a palette of 8 tones, and whatever we make has to work with it. That was the most challenging on this one, I think. But you know, it worked out. Yeah, it's I've been learning a lot just this month messing with these. Oh, I may have interpreted candle in the stupidest possible way to interpret candle. There's no way anyone would ever hold this. The hilt is fire. But I had fun with it. I saw so many awesome swords with like candelabras and yeah. You know, if I had more time, what I originally wanted to do was to draw like a very nervous knight, like attempting to approach it holding oven mitts. Um, but I didn't. I ran out of time for that, so I was like, you know what? Hopefully, people will understand if I just post this. It is not the best weapon in the world, probably. I'll be honest. If I had to fight an enemy and the only thing I had were the swords I've drawn this month, I would not be in a good position. Like, you've got a thumbtack and you've got a candle that you hold by the fire, and one made of honey that's melting. Like, great start. Great start. Oh, first one I did was I don't know if you've played Elden Ring or any of that one, but there's one enemy that's crystal based, and they have a few weapons, but they don't have swords. So it's like, yeah, let's make a sword for them. It was pretty good, if I do say so myself. That is true. It'd be like those pro players who do the speed run after they know everything and they're like messing with stuff and like, yes, I'm gonna win while holding fire. Yeah, this one was neat. The Crystallians are fun enemies, and their design is fascinating. So I had fun looking at their weapons and developing this one. But yeah, I mean that's what I've been up to. I'm gonna have to slow the pace down a little bit. It was starting to actually hinder my ability to function at work normal like, and so it's like okay, we need to tone it down just a hair. But yeah, I'm gonna try to keep up with these, keep learning. It's been good. This is I mean, the point of this channel is, if nothing else, just so that I can learn how to do digital art. It forces me to actually, like, set aside time every week to do it. Um, and so that's, I've been coming a long way versus a whole year of saying that I was going to do it and, like, maybe opening the program 3 times. And it's like, you're not learning much doing that. It's been fun. But yeah, no, today again, it's just been texture testing. I've been, well, this is basically what I did is oh, that's not going to work. Guess I'm not even sure I saved the. Oh, right, I did them here. I basically made each of the different pieces of this texture, and I was learning how to make a brush out of them, which I will say worked. Some neat stuff with that, but it definitely took some figuring out. Next go round, it'll be easier. And because the next sword that I want to make, the prompt was floral, and so I want to be able to make like a petal brush and just be able to go ham with that rather than having to individually draw out every single leaf. Because that's useful in the future. Learning the tools should be handy. So what I really want to do is get into Blender. Ooh, 3D modeling someday. Let's see. So that's, as with everything, I overthought the heck of it in advance. There's a flower, I need to look up the name of it. There was an interesting Kickstarter project a while back called the Herbalist Primer that was basically a bunch of flowers, like their actual, like all the scientific information about the flowers, like you'd find in a reference guide, but also with all of the old medieval like mythology that had built up around them and what they could do. It's handy for D&D campaigns, but I was also just sort of flipping through it, and then there was one called, I think, like, was it Burnleaf or Burnbush or something like that? Um, and it was supposedly able to cast fire, so I thought that'd be a fun thing to sort of go with as a prompt, as a flaming flower sword. So it's the actual name is, I think, Fraxinella. Let me see if I can't pull it up. At risk of searching things while on stream without knowing what's going to turn up, let's see what we get. Yeah, here we go. So like, you see what I mean though? Like, this is the kind where it'd be super a brush to be able to do the leaves and the petals would allow me to do some interesting stuff with it. But yeah, no, Herbalist Primer's been a neat project. Yeah, this one's not from it, but it's this sort of art style, and then a lot of interesting stats about the mythology behind them and everything. It's fun. So yeah, no, I've just been sort of going at it. I think today's prompt for Swordtember that I'm definitely not going to have time to do is woven. So unless I can think of some interesting, like I don't know, the sword actively unweaving as someone swings it. Yeah. Ooh, yes. There's one. What the heck is it called? Like century plant. Um, yeah. I mean, there's like a tiny one that's used as succulents, but then they've got the big ones, and I mean like big ones. I think they're technically cacti. Um, and you could just use like one frond of this. Ooh, that'd be fun. It's like a single giant leaf because they've got sharp edges. Like they're not. This one shows it better. They're maybe not the friendliest plants around. um, but they're neat. I've got a soft spot for them. They definitely don't have a soft spot back though. They bite. Oh boy, yeah. No, century plants are that's a good thought. Ooh, what type of succulent did you get? Ah, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. No, but they're fun. They're neat. They're neat to maintain. They're not too hard to take care of. And they look nice. And I mean, I already mentioned I'm from Texas. Like, having a small plant that doesn't need too much water is a perk. Ah, yeah. We've had lovely is the wrong word for our summer, which was we spent a lot of time above like 44 Celsius. It's I hate the weather here. Triple digits in Fahrenheit, that's never fun. Although I heard y'all weren't having great weather this year either. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a weird year for weather. We we had all of our like 44 days, and then we got half of our year's rainfall in 24 hours. Like, oh, there's all the water. Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear it's cooling down over there, because, like, I don't know, if it's getting bad enough that y'all are considering getting air conditioning units, then I know it's serious. uh, Same. Our winters are nice, except for the maybe infamous one like 2 years ago where our entire power grid shut down. But besides that, I do enjoy the winters here. Cold weather's definitely nicer. Um, yeah, I like the sharpness. It helps me stay awake too. Like warm weather, like it's exhausting. Cold weather, it keeps you sharp. Plus, you get to wear jackets, and I get to indulge my sewing habits and make jackets. Um, see. Okay. Well, in terms of this drawing, I think we can probably say that Star Test is a success. I mean, it's not brilliant, mind, but it'll do. If I added more grayscale variants, maybe I could get some interesting stuff with that too. Oh yeah, I've seen. I mean, I'm not like a full-on expert on it, but I've seen some stuff, anime-wise and otherwise. I've got some friends who are super into it, have been sort of introducing me to some of the basics, and then I've explored my own things. I'm catching up on Assassination Classroom right now, actually. That one's been fun. You watch anything? I assume you do if you ask. Yeah, I'm in the final season, but I'm not through it yet, so no spoilers. I'm down for backseating on this channel, and I'm down for spoilers on most things, but I'm this close on that one. Oh yeah, just like 2 weeks ago, I watched I think the first 25 some odd episodes. That one, Hunter's been fun, uh, and it's not usually the genre that I go for, so I gotta say it was nice to enjoy it. Uh, it is a long show, and I swear I felt like I watched 50 episodes, and I looked and I was like, "You're on episode 14." Like it just goes. At least it's not One Piece. No catching up on that one. Yeah, my arc is. Where did I leave off? They hit well, without spoiling anything. It was past the initial arc of the test, so I was on to other adventures. But even so, yeah. Oh yeah. They'd Oh dang, yeah, you're ahead of me then for sure. Let's see, what else have I been watching lately? The silly one that I gotta say I enjoy, but it's probably not for everyone. It's called I think Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle. It's just lighthearted, silly nonsense, but it's a great one to unwind with. There's like there is not exactly tension in that show, but it's also not just like it. Yeah, it's funny. You know, I don't know if it's everyone's sense of humor, but I found it funny, fairly tame. Uh, I I have no idea. It may have been the first one well, okay, I guess JoJo's technically the first one I watched, but like, yeah, yeah, you know, that's my problem is I'll get through like 2 seasons of something and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a break and watch something else, and then I just never come back. So I need to get through Hunter x Hunter again, or keep going on it. Yeah, JoJo's been fun, although the new Stone Ocean's not been my favorite arc. Not bad, but like, I don't know, it feels like we're getting too into the nitty gritty of like niche stands now, and they're still interesting stories, but it's like, I don't know, it feels like it's getting a little dry, but it's still fun. It's been a fun show, and it definitely got me through finals at one point. Yeah, I'm like 3 episodes into the second half, so like I can't speak to the whole thing. Maybe it turns around. Um, the, maybe that's the way to do it. Okay, good. Heard mixed things on that one, so I'm glad to hear some positive reviews. Man, the only one I've been reading is The Way of the House Husband, which is another silly nonsense one. It's fun though. Oh, a lot of cosplay of it at a convention earlier this year. Yeah, it's a very specific animation style. Apparently I guess mangaka insisted on it. Um, as like part of the condition of animating it was staying in the comic strip motion. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely it's an unusual one. Yeah, yeah. When I was watching it with some friends, and at first they thought it was lagging. I was like, nope, that's just what it looks like. Apparently, there's a live action version now too that Netflix made. I have no idea if it's good or not. Live action Netflix anime trend is definitely a bizarre one. Yeah, I mean, it might be good. Apparently, they made a live action JoJo movie from like part four. Ah, not so good on that one. Yeah, I'm not sure they're working, but maybe. And hey, yeah, the 3D models of the stands were phenomenal on that. Not sure about the rest, but we'll see. I haven't watched the full thing either, so just clips. Oh, I mean, it's a tough choice. Going purely on personality and not like the historical context or any of the other complicated all that stuff. Ah, honestly, Joseph's fun. Early days Joseph is fun, and Jotaro is fun. I mean, I know those are like the generic two, but I enjoyed those arcs. Yeah, yeah. I feel like maybe that's it. Like the latest one doesn't have that much humor. It's so intense and dark in Stone Ocean. Yeah, Jolene's a fun character though. Oh yeah, Josuke. I know what the creator has said, but the way they've drawn it, it's still unclear to me whether or not there's a time loop in play or if it really was just a random person in a snowstorm with Josuke. I know he said it's just a random person, but it it looks just like him and not just the hair. I know, but it isn't, but it is, but ah. I know. See. Set this to sort of the orange for contrast. Well, that's certainly something. Unfortunately, I've probably got to wrap up soon for the night. I need to wrap up at, let's see, I guess it'd be 4 a.m. y'all's time, 10 p.m. here. I got to get to bed so I can wake up in the morning. Oh, that'd be fun if they throw something at the end of part 6. That would be fun. Yeah, sorry, I gotta head out, but thank you for dropping by. I was glad to see you. Always glad to hear from folks. Yeah, have a good one with the cereal. Yeah, take it easy. Yeah, I know. Uh, Again, sorry, can't believe I missed you earlier. I was so into it, and then I looked at chat and I was like, wait, oops, my bad. So, yeah, thanks for dropping by. Yeah, yeah. Again, I am sorry about that. Yeah, and have a good, I guess, morning. Yep. See y'all next time.